Let's do it. All right. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Conversation Piece. My name is Patrick Armstrong. I am your host. 2026 is the year of the people, and today we have one of Naptown's very best. He has the second most appearances on the show since 2024, behind only our future mayor, Andrea Hunley. He's also a hip-hop artist. He's been making waves here in the city and beyond, including with his most recent drop, For Us, By Us. And he's also pretty good at basketball, if I'm being honest. It is my privilege, and it is with great joy to welcome 4200 Corey back to the show.
Thank you, man. I'm up there. That's some elite company, man.
Very elite company. I mean, you would be in like you would be in the 2 range if you hadn't have just randomly pulled up with the air.
Yeah, that was random. It was random.
The most random. And then just sitting on the couch, not even next to Dier, just like to the side. I was like, I loved it.
I enjoyed it.
Well, that's the kind of organic content that I'm trying to foster here on this show.
That's pretty cool.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Copacetic, man. Everything is good with me, man. I'm living life one day at a time. Rap is doing good. Love life is doing great. Ain't got no kids yet, so I'm feeling good.
Hey, okay. Well, when you have one of them, let me know. We can match it up. Yeah. I don't know if I'll have any good advice, but we'll I'll share some stuff. All right, man, we're going to get into it. We got a lot of stuff that I want to go over today, but since you've been on the show, we have actually started a new segment or introduced a new segment that I would like to do with you today called The Dream Machine. All right, first question. Are you a dreamless sleeper or a sleepless dreamer?
I'm a dreamless sleeper.
Okay, so when you shut your eyes,
I don't see much.
You're out.
I don't see much, no.
Okay.
It's weird.
Have you ever been like a dreamer
when
when
I
you
was
slept?
young?
Okay.
Yeah, when I was young, but I don't know where it stopped.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Do you remember any of the dreams that you used to have when you were a kid?
Like, I would have random dreams like, I don't know, like running through like big prairies.
Okay.
With, like, sheep chasing me.
Interesting.
But, like, at the same time, like, chasing, like, a floating bag of money. Like, crazy stuff like that.
That's really interesting.
But nothing, like, that sticks for real.
Yeah.
But those are, like, very...
Chasing the money makes sense.
Chasing the money.
That.
I don't know where the sheep thing is.
The sheep thing is very interesting.
What about the prairie? I've never been on the prairie.
I was going to ask you, have you ever been, like, is that
No, I'm from inner
place?
city.
I know,
Indy.
I was like, is that a place that you, like, went to randomly when you were a kid?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Man, I was watching Sounds of Music a lot.
Okay.
It's
is
like
that like the
it's like the one where like
movie?
she's like singing
yeah,
on the
yeah,
hill.
like it's about Nazis, isn't it? Isn't it
I'm sure something about it. What isn't about it?
I don't think it's like a bad way. Like Nazis are good, but I think it's like about World War
Perhaps
II.
because I don't remember what it's about. Now that you mentioned
Yeah.
it, I just remembered White Lady on Hill.
Yeah. I might have to interject when they edit and say what it is. So
Okay,
that way
we got it.
people
Yeah,
don't
no,
cancel
for
the
sure,
show.
for sure.
Okay, that's hilarious. So dreamless sleeper.
Yeah.
You get good sleep then? I feel like you're somebody who takes care of their body and takes care of themselves.
I do pretty well, and then I got a wife, so I'm held to a pretty high standard.
For sure. I feel you. So no recent dreams then that you've been mulling over, things that you've visualized in that sleeping period?
No, I did have a dream.
Okay.
It was a nightmare, though.
Ooh.
But it was only like, I kept seeing bad weather for FanFest.
Okay, so very recent dream then.
It was so weird. Oh, and it was when the weather forecast was still clear. And I was like, man, I keep having this weird, it was like an hour-long dream. Because it was like a nap. I was taking a nap and I saw that.
So I actually feel like I have my most vivid dreams in short periods of sleep.
Okay.
So like if I'm taking a nap or if like I fall asleep on the couch before I go upstairs to bed.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've had or experienced like something wild.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I don't know why that is. Maybe because I'm teetering on the line of like being awake and
do you
being
like
asleep.
watch TV or stuff like when you go to sleep?
I do, yeah. And if I fall asleep on the couch, I probably have fallen asleep to something on the TV, so that makes sense. But
I don't do that. That's why I used to go to sleep to stuff, but like since I've turned probably like 20, 19, I haven't been falling asleep to anything. Like I turn the TV off, go to sleep.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I used to fall asleep to like the Dave Chappelle show.
That'll give you
And-
some dreams.
Yeah, but it was always like on the DVDs, the theme song would just loop. and loop.
Show.
Yeah, Chappelle Show.
Wow. yeah.
That's hilarious. I was about to ask you something else and I forgot. Oh, do you like watch TV and movies? I don't think I've ever asked you
I'm not
this.
like I'm super anti-conformity.
Sure.
So like when people say watch it, I don't watch it. I'll
Okay,
watch
I
it
feel
like
you.
a year later or something.
I'm currently rewatching Game of Thrones for some
Ooh.
reason, but I was 100% in that mode when it was first out. I would refuse to watch it because
Yeah.
everybody would kept telling me, "Oh, you got to watch this show. You got to watch this show." I was actually the same with Breaking Bad, but I didn't have like cable for AMC.
Right. Dude, the funny thing about Game of Thrones, I never watched it. But that episode, The Red Wedding,
Oh yeah.
okay, so my mother was very much deeply into it.
Okay.
And being a Cobra kid, we would prank each other. And my mom was not excluded from this. So, I don't know. I wasn't watching the show. I knew about the episode because it was like something that was popular at the time.
Yeah.
And before my mom had watched it, I went ahead and watched it. Just that episode.
Okay.
No prior context.
Damn.
And I watched the episode, and I went and sat with her when she went to watch it the same night, but like spoiled it for her. So like as like people about to get chopped or whatever's about to happen, I'm like, ooh, here it comes. And it's like like to this day, she never lets me forget it. Like she
Oh
gets
my
on me about it all
God,
the
that's
time. But no,
hilarious.
I do. I watch a lot of older stuff though.
Okay.
So like I do. And in fact, this year I'm keeping a really conscious mental note and a physical or a digital note of everything that I watched, all the content that I consume.
Okay.
Everything. So like most recently, I just watched Mr. 3000. Have you seen that?
Don't think I've seen it in a long
Bernie
time. Bernie
Mac.
Mac. Yeah, baseball.
Bro,
Yep.
I don't know how I missed that. Love that movie. I watched every Bernie Mac film in the past few months.
Okay.
I've watched. Me and my wife binge watched every like the worst ever on Netflix, like
Okay.
worst neighbor ever, worst ex ever.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's like these like documentaries on crazy people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I watched all that. Yeah, bro, I watch cool stuff sometimes. I
Okay.
watch good movies here and there, but yeah.
Bernie Mac, legend.
I wanted to meet him before he passed. I still want to meet him. I'll meet him.
One day. One day. Bernie Mac show that we used to watch that at home.
I still watch it. Who you with?
I gotta get back on the train. We don't have Netflix, so we don't we have like every other platform but Netflix.
I've been a
It's terrible.
YouTube TV kind of guy lately.
Man, I just got rid of YouTube TV because I felt like I was only watching it for sports, and I felt like it was just an expense I did
It's
not
very
want to carry.
it's very expensive,
Yeah.
but like we got the packages.
Okay.
So like we got the HBO and all that stuff.
Okay,
So
all right.
so
That's
it got
fine.
everything.
All right. Well, that's the Dream Machine. You just got back from New York.
Yeah.
Talking about, making waves beyond Indianapolis. Tell me what you're doing out there.
So this past week, man, first 3 days was honeymoon stuff.
Ooh.
So the first 3 days, my phone was unreachable.
Nice.
And it was just me and wifey, and we enjoyed just about every part of New York besides Queens. We'll get to you, Queens, I promise.
Okay.
But it's a lot of footwork for me and my wife. So it was nice the first 2 days. And then the last half of that week, we just spent like label meetings. We went and knocked out On the Radar. That was
Okay.
fun. And just got to catch up with some good friends while we was out there. So it was nice. Yeah.
Label meetings.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you can elaborate on? You probably got to keep that on.
Not at the moment.
Yeah. What's that? Can you talk a little bit about like the experience of getting into those rooms?
Absolutely. So for me, again, I'm somebody who's pretty anti-conformity. So when I get in those spaces, I'm not stubborn, but I don't feel like I have to sell anybody anything.
Sure.
It's like I'm in this space for a reason. So like a lot of times I go in there and my conversations end up being about like, who are your favorite revolutionaries?
Interesting. Okay.
So it'd be pretty cool, but I think that the thing that I get the most out of those spaces is just a lot of affirmation. And I think that's what we got this past trip was like, we're doing everything right. We're doing
Okay.
everything the way that we want to do it, going against the grain and just being community oriented and putting our city first. I think that means a lot because
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any names, but 3 years ago, before I dropped From Naptown to the World, it was a good friend of mine who told me like, yo, you got to stop putting the Naptown thing first. Like, you're a great artist, but putting Naptown first has never worked, historically speaking. And so, like, there's some validity to it.
Yeah.
But I didn't believe that was the way for me. And I laughed, and I was like, yeah, right. And every step of the way has always been like, oh, man, I wonder how he feels about this. Every time we've dropped and seen something go crazy.
Okay.
I was like, ooh, I know he probably mad.
Yeah.
And so we was at one of these meetings in New York this past weekend. Man, in the middle of the meeting, he just stops and he's like, man, I got to apologize. So it's like, it's a lot of affirmation, man.
Yeah, that's fire. I just had a conversation with Mike G and GP from
Right.
We Don't Run. And one of the topics of our conversation, and we've been talking about it for like the last 2 years, is kind of the pitfalls of hyper-localization,
Right.
especially when it comes to like the small business community, and how being labeled like a local business can sometimes limit you from having kind
It
of
has
a
adverse
global
effects.
reach. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like when I say that, I almost have to hold you as an outlier because I feel like the way you wear the city and wear what I guess a lot of people, like your friend, probably thought would be a limiting local situation,
Right.
is you flipped it on its head. And like, I don't know if there could be anything more anti-conformist than that.
Yeah.
Than to take Naptown and make it not just put it on the map of like, oh, I see this Indianapolis has more, but to literally take it to places where it might not have ever went before.
Yeah.
Favorite part of New York when you and Erica were out and about?
My favorite part, I really like the ride to Staten Island.
Okay.
It's relaxed, it's laid back. What I do always find interesting is like, I'm a people watcher. So like, I be incredibly interested and just wowed by this big mass of people, because between just immigrant, natural borns, and people visiting, you're just seeing a culmination of what it means to like live this experience we call life. Like, nobody knows anybody, but they're all on the same accord.
Yeah.
And it's something interesting to behold in that, because you see it when you're moving through New York in general,
Yeah.
going and passing. But it's something about when you hop onto the ferry and you're waiting for the ferry and everybody's at this door and it's like almost Resident Evil-esque. It does something to my spirit, and I really enjoyed it.
People are moving a little bit differently in New York. I
Oh,
think.
my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And I made some friends on the ferry.
Okay.
Yeah, like I met a therapist who works in Toronto. Really cool guy.
Yeah.
I had I think she was Chinese. It was a Chinese lady that I met, and she took, I believe, about 40 or 50 pictures of me and my wife. And she was just like, "You guys look so nice." And she just, and it was selfie style. It was reversed. It was her new phone. She had to remind us that it was her new phone. The camera was clean.
Okay.
It wasn't an iPhone. iPhone, step it up. But hey, man, I had a good time on it.
Did you notice her taking the photos and then struck up the conversation, or did she come up to you?
At first, no, because she snuck one in, but we looked over, and then she was just like, well, you know what, they got me, so I should just tell them I'm going to take these pictures.
That is incredible.
Yeah. And no picture was good enough. She just kept going. And even my therapist friend was like, wow.
That's a lot even
I
for
was
us.
like, yeah, I think she needs some things to unpack.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
New clientele right there. What do you think, like, the biggest – is there something that's, like, reminds you of home? Maybe not in just New York, but when you go to other places, when you get the chance to, like, get to somewhere else.
Well, I will say that to save money, I stayed in the Jersey.
Okay. Jersey.
I stayed across the bridge, Jersey.
Hey, man, honestly, it's smart.
And we would just transfer on in, but it wasn't that big of a hassle. Like, we stayed right there on the border. But being in Jersey oftentimes reminds me a lot of Indy.
Okay.
Just how it's, like, dialed back and slower.
Sure.
And I think New York reminds me of Indy for the opposite reason, how it's so fast. And I was like, man, I haven't seen a tree in hours. Like,
okay. Interesting.
When I got back, that's the first thing that I really was like, man, I love trees.
Yeah. Bro, nature is nice.
I was like, bro, because I went to Central Park.
Yeah.
And it's like, Central Park is fire.
Yeah.
But it's still man-made.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, it feels weird sometimes when I'm like understanding the history of it.
Right.
But it's like, this is a nice park, but it wasn't like, it's not like raw.
Yeah.
It's like built. So
Yeah.
it's not the same.
It's so interesting the way we construct stuff out of, like, to try and replicate what was already there. Instead of just letting what was there.
No, I had
be.
so much. We went to the Indigenous Peoples Museum.
Oh, yep.
And while we were there, a guy, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Great guy, though. He came over and he was telling us, me and my wife, so much about, like, the history of New York. And I think he was just super excited to have somebody to talk to. He actually worked there. Like, he was a security guard. and he was
Even
way
better.
off post talking to us. Because we were walking around, and he would just follow us, and he would leave us with a tidbit, and he'd run back, and then come back again like, oh, yeah, don't forget. So he's, like, telling us all this stuff about New York and how it's, like, slowly sinking into the ocean.
Interesting.
And at the same time, they keep adding landfill, and when they tear down a building, they make a bigger building. So it doesn't really help. But it's all in this effort to commodify the city and, all that good capitalistic stuff.
What is going on with the coast sinking? Actually, I probably know
I'm about to say that is
multiple reasons.
Yeah,
but,
no, that is a lot.
I mean, I think we're in an okay spot in Indy.
I got no complaints. I got no complaints. I seen like we're one of 4 states that isn't going through like a super drought due to the whole like El Nino thing.
I feel like the heat and humidity though has been staggering comparatively to like the past.
It's been disgusting.
So I feel like we're feeling some of the effects, but I guess
I don't know who to believe.
Honestly, the thing that I've been thinking about recently is maps.
Right.
And like the way that they are not actually representative of the world.
Not at all.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get too far off track, so honeymoon label meetings.
Yes.
On the radar.
Yes.
Tell me about that session. Your first. So this is coming out early August. You were recording this though at the end of July. You just had the first clip drop.
Yeah.
Already viral, if I'm not mistaken.
I haven't seen it. When I post stuff like that, I stay off for a little bit.
Bro,
Is it doing good?
I think I was like the 10th commenter, and when I looked 20 minutes later, there were 60 comments.
Okay.
So it's going up. And that was like 3 hours ago or whatever.
Yeah,
So
dude, like on the radar, for me, at first I was like hesitant. Again, anti-conformist here.
Yeah.
People kept saying do it. I'm not doing it. Then it was like I'm going to let things simmer, and I wanted to do it for the summer.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I want to drop For Us By Us first.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did that, and I was like, all right, I want to knock out this song. But Naptown Baby, and that's what I'm calling the first half of the song from now on.
Okay. It's like two-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Well Raised is the name of the song. But the Naptown Baby part of the song, it has like the way that it resonates with the city. And I think that the way that it's sort of built its own life outside the city. I get a lot of love from people outside of the city.
Okay.
Who didn't even necessarily live in Nap or like were brought up here or born here, but maybe have came through during a trip.
Yeah.
And was like, man, I've been to Indy, and they found some relatability in the music. I think that speaks volumes to how the record has hit people. But the session itself, that room is really green.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what I expected. I was like, it can't be that green. But nah, it was fun, man, and it was real laid back. The session was pretty straight through. Doing that song with the homies was great, and we got to show the new merch that we got.
I was about to ask about. I'm like, where can I get one of these shirts?
I'm about to announce it, but everything's gonna be on my website, forrestwintercorey.com.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's dope, man. It was a dope time. To be able to do it with like my best friends that I've been growing up with and started music with.
Totally.
And to have my wife there made it a whole lot more special. So it was really nice.
I feel like it's a continuation. I know you're talking about being like anti-conformist. It is. I feel like a continuation of indie artists showing up there.
Absolutely.
Like Nori was there, Lil Billy was there.
They went as a group.
Oh, they did?
That was amazing.
That's really okay, so there was like a whole Naptown session kind of. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know about it, but when I found out, I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So they did theirs, I believe, sometime earlier this year.
Yeah.
And it was those two guys, those two acts, I believe my boy Tezzard Eagle, who also was there.
Oh, yep.
And there's a cat named Mari,
okay.
He was the main. But my goodness, that to go as a unit like that was amazing.
Yeah,
I would have loved that one. That was
straight up crazy. It felt like, is that like an actual studio or is that in somebody's like apartment?
It's a studio apartment.
Okay.
It's like it's like a really close confined space. It's really intimate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a studio. It's like, if I could explain it, it's like you walk up some stairs and you're in the room, and then there's like a glass separating you from another room where the engineer has controls to all the cameras. There's 3 cameras set up, and you are with this green couch, green lighting. The couch is broken, by the way.
Okay.
I found that out while I was there. He told me the couch is broken, and I mean, it's pretty laid back, man. It's pretty straightforward.
Is there, because when I've listened to those, when I watch those clips, I'm like, obviously the track is playing as well. Did you have to, as somebody who I feel like does not do that?
It is a 50-50.
Okay.
So it's a mix between my interpretation of what was asked of me and what was actually done.
Okay.
So between me sending in a performance track, so it takes out a lot
gotcha.
of. So
Yep.
my performance tracks, usually I keep my hooks.
Yeah.
But I was expecting not to have my vocals on it
Okay.
unless it was punched into those open spaces. But
Sure.
what happened is both of them were there. So
Gotcha. While you were recording it?
while I was
did that
recording, it was
play,
in
or
my
did you-
headphones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I was listening, I'm like, okay, I think it's like cutting out. I think it's like,
Yeah,
I can
no,
hear
it's
just
50-50.
Corey. But
Yeah.
for some of them, I've been like, I don't know if I think it's just the track that I hear. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's
so
really
you'll hear a
interesting.
mixing. You're hearing a mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You talked about like people watching, coming back, looking for trees, like, and experiencing that real nature, not man-made. I'm wondering like what else you brought back with you, because you did a lot on this trip.
Bro, I think spending a week anywhere makes me homesick.
Okay.
Because I love my city a lot.
Yeah.
But being in New York for a week, it gave me for reference and for context. I was there in November for a show. I did have a show in November.
Okay.
So I spent time out there before, but it was very much like a blip because I had mother-in-law, friends, wife.
Okay.
So there was not a whole lot of room for exploration.
Sure.
But we got things done, and that was a nice introduction to New York. Now, the second time around, we did have more of a mission to see stuff, and I think just my ability or my privilege to be able to see so much in such a short amount of time, because New York exposes you to a lot really
Totally.
quickly. It almost feels unreal a lot of times. A lot of the times, my guys was joking about the pigeons being fake.
Oh.
So like, it just gives you a nice sense of like, wow. Just wow. Everything is wow. You're
Yeah.
around so much history. There's no telling who walked these exact same steps as you.
Totally.
And I think just coming back home just reminded me of like how vast the world actually is. Because that's New York, and that's within U.S. soil.
Totally.
I haven't left U.S. soil yet.
Mm.
So no telling what's to come when I see
Okay,
more.
we gotta make you Mr. Worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Pitbull.
Yeah. I heard that forever.
Talked about your wife.
Mhm.
You were married recently, somewhat recently.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest change to your personal life since solidifying it administratively?
It's required me to have a lot more, I guess, wherewithal, right?
Okay.
Like, I think there was, I think when it comes to love in particular, the way that I was brought up, I've never seen a lot of successful relationships
Sure.
in that capacity. Boyfriend, girlfriend stuff, I really kind of thought that was the end goal. It was like, if you hear, you hear. We
Yeah.
don't need all the extras. But I think that making this formal arrangement, this promise amongst each other, it sort of locked me in naturally.
Okay.
Like I'm somebody who's like I'm deontological in my approach. So
Okay.
it's like everything is duties, obligations. However the outcome is however the outcome is. But I did what I'm supposed to do. So being able to say that now we've applied that sort of concept to my relationship, it allows me to like be like, all right, I'm on a mission.
Yeah.
That's what I think the marriage did for me.
Did you feel that when you like had the ceremony, or was
Nah.
it something that came a little bit later?
It was later.
Okay.
Because it was like, it's like that moment where you just wake up and you're like, oh,
I'm married now.
it's not, and it's being married. It's being married,
Yeah.
and it's also like the wow of it. The whole,
Okay.
whole like, it's insane to think that this is another human being on my side from a whole different walk of life.
Totally.
We didn't know each other existed so many years ago, and here we are, and we're building a thing together, and
Yeah.
we're both very much invested and have a lot of faith in this thing. So it's just all the combination of all those feelings does a lot.
Yeah. Has it like impacted the way that you view like your creative process at all?
I will say that I've always been somebody who I put my music first, and I was very adamant about that, very clear about that at all times. It's like, I love you, but music is first. And I think this is probably the first time in my life where I see those two things being even keeled, if not she's above it. So it's new.
Yeah.
It's definitely new. But it doesn't change too much of my creative process
Okay.
because she always she wouldn't love me the same if I didn't love music the way I do.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a through line from how you guys met, and you know, it's like been a big part of your lives together. Okay, how do I want to ask this? Does it impact the way, I guess, that you view your relationship to the city? Does it make you want to go, like, does it impact the way that you view, like, your interaction, your relationship with the city? Because you talk about, like, music's always been at the top tier, on the top shelf, and now it's like, oh, like, I have this person now that's not only on the same shelf, but maybe standing a little bit above it.
I don't think it necessarily changes anything about how I feel with the city, but I do think it opened up the idea that the city has a lot to offer, just in its general sense.
Ooh, interesting.
Because if I never had an idea that the city or anything around me this close proximity-wise could have offered me a love like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, if I can get a love like that, wonder what else the city could offer me.
Damn.
So if that parallel makes sense.
Totally. Well, that makes me feel like, thinking about, like, our previous conversations of, like, you could be anywhere but here.
Right.
Like, with, like, your talent and the drive that you have, like, just your mind in general and the way it works and you navigate the world. Like, Indy could, from some perspectives, could feel limiting in that way. Like, you could go wherever, but, like, Indy showing you new stuff.
Right.
Through this relationship. That's crazy. Do you, like, how do you, is it scary?
You're getting gushy on me, man.
I'm married too, and I got a kid too. So, like, but is it scary to see a love like that grow, where it is equal to or even greater than the music? Something that has
it's
been
intimidating.
the top thing
Absolutely.
in your life.
I think so. I think it's intimidating, and it's because it's unmarked territory.
Yeah.
I think it's just you're fumbling around in the dark,
and
you're like, man, I'm trusting you. You know, we're trusting each other here.
Yeah.
Let's figure this thing out. And I think the only reason though that it would be intimidating or scary is because I care.
Facts.
If I didn't care, I wouldn't pay it much mind. It wouldn't have bothered me. It wouldn't bear a weight on me.
Yeah.
And I think because I care so much is what allows me to have that fear. But what I will say is that fear is oftentimes very much alleviated in moments where I understand that I do have a partner.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you think you're battling this thing by yourself.
Facts. Let's talk a little bit about this new project.
All right.
When did this come out again? I feel like I've listened to it a million times, so, like, I forgot.
This dropped at the top of July.
Okay. Not very long then.
No, not at all.
Banger.
Appreciate it, man.
Bangers.
Something fun for the summer, man.
Yeah.
Something cool.
The Funk
2K?
Funk 2K was already banging when it came out as a single.
Good.
I'm interested in what specific story are you looking to tell with this particular project?
Yeah, so it's a mix of things, right? Like, I think with a lot of the branding that we did with it, we made sure that we stayed close to the original FUBU concept.
Sure.
Of, like, the old 2005, 2006 bigger jerseys with the FUBU on it, and just sort of bringing back this idea of, like, a lot of things that I do are in this attempt to be, like, atavistic, like paying homage all the time.
Yes.
Like, always trying to give context to why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so with this in particular, it was just about, like, how do we have fun and also still continue to pay homage like I'm used to doing. So it was really cool. It's just really cool to have, like, a fun project following up Cobra Sun, which was so heavy.
Yeah.
So that was really my main goal. It was just like, let's have fun.
Okay.
The summer's here. My city deserves it. We're going through a lot of things politically.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like, how do we counter that with what I have?
Yeah.
And I gave him some art.
It is very fun. And I love the video for Funk 2K too. That's a great video. Shout out to DJ.
Yeah.
Pulling the car up.
Shout out to DJ, bro. DJ sat out there with us. It was a long day. But DJ sat out there with us and we had a good time.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like on this 6 songs?
7, I think.
7 songs. I feel like you're playing with some different sounds a little bit.
Absolutely.
And I'm specifically thinking of Shake Fast because I was coming in here listening to that song. I'm wondering from like your creative perspective, what zones of comfort this project pushed you out of?
I will say that I feel like this is something that I've always wanted to tinker with.
Okay.
Like in terms of soundscapes,
Sure.
I always want to have fun with the sounds. But I think I always tried to be rather conservative in my approach because I didn't want to jump any steps.
Okay.
So like, for instance, you'll hear on like Cobra Sun had there are some tracks that didn't make that project that were a little bit more futuristic sounding.
Sure.
And we ended up dialing it back just because we wanted the concept to sound more full and complete. We didn't want people to get lost astray for sounds. But with this in particular, some of the songs, like for instance, Shake Fast is probably 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
Shake Fast was supposed to drop with like our SBF tape.
I was literally about to ask because
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like this could have fit on that project.
It would have been originally on that. But it's like it's more so about just like trying to have fun and continue to push the envelope, right? Like we talk about, like you were telling me how the small businesses have their conversation about the locality of things, the municipality of being anything in this city. And when you attach it to your name, what does that mean and what does it actually bring? And when it comes to music, as an artist, sometimes you get boxed in with your sounds and you want to constantly keep it fresh, but you also want to continue to maintain the integrity of your sound. So
Totally.
I think we did a good job with it.
Yeah. Any particular sounds or samples? 'Cause I feel like I heard you talk about like the paying homage with this tape too. I mean, I think you do that with all your music, but like anything in particular you're really proud that you're able to like weave into these songs?
Funk 2K.
Okay.
Just because that was a record that I knew we hadn't heard anything like that in our city. No rapper raps over that type of stuff.
Totally.
And so when I made it, I was like, I'm just going to ride around to this because I like this song.
Yeah.
And it was also the guy who produced it. His name is Subgo. That's originally a song itself. that I
Oh,
rapped
interesting.
over. So it's like that's his voice on the hook.
Okay. I've been wondering who that was.
So what he did with that was fire, and I sent it to him. And this dude is like, he lives in Florida. He's an older cat.
Yeah.
He's been doing music for a long time, electric music. Doesn't really do rap.
Yeah.
So I sent it to him. He was like, bro, this is fire. And that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, man, like we should try to get this out. And so we managed to be able to make it happen. But I think I only wanted to drop it because my homeboy was like, man, you should drop it.
Bro,
And if
song.
the family says it, then I'm going to go with the family every time. But, yeah, no, I was just glad to be able to give the city something new, something refreshing. And to see people actually enjoy it. And it's been in a couple rotations around the city, like DJs mixing it and stuff. So it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Bro, it's a fun song. And you literally just said it, but you say it on the record. Like, I just want to make something to ride around to.
Exactly.
Like, literally.
Exactly.
It's a fun song to drive around to. Okay, I'm interested, too, in the rollout. So, like, how is this different than, say, like, the album rollout for Cobra Sun or even, like, the mixtape rollout for Naptown to the World? Like, what are the differences there?
I think this is really, like, we wanted to, again, like, pay homage to, like, an older time where it was like, no, we about to just give y'all this music.
Yeah.
But at the same time, making sure we curate the spaces right. Like, we're going to do the videos and we're going to do the lead single. We're going to be in conversations and we're going to be out and about and being able to talk to you about it a little bit. But it also had some strongholds on it because it is named FUBU. So there's certain things we cannot do.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was just about being out there and being physically present with a lot of stuff. Because we want to give you this project called For Us, By Us, but we also want to make sure that we're exercising this concept to its totality.
Yeah.
By being physically a part of events, being at certain things, supporting other people's events that we do see as being progressive for the culture.
Okay.
So with this in particular, the rollout wasn't as extreme as like a Cobra Sun or for Naptown to the World, but I do think it served its purpose because it gives me a little bit of a wiggle to be like, all right, we're going to do something crazy for the next one because we are. But with this one, just being able to do the listening session with Grapevine and all that was great, and I feel like that served its purpose.
Okay. Is there anything else like coming with this particular project?
We plan on doing a few music videos.
Okay.
Because I know What You Want From Me is doing astronomically well as the outro Wrong With Him.
Oh, yep.
With my guy Horace Gaither out of Kentucky and Jira out of Baton Rouge. Man, we want to make some really dope stuff, and we'll continue to do that while we're working on this next thing.
Okay, nice. I'm excited for that. At the Cobra Sun release party last year, you talked about how in that past year, you had been kind of stepping out more when it comes to like, I don't want to say community events, but like definitely like maybe not political events either, but like you're going to like meetings, you're going to like rallies and protests, and you're just like being more present, if not
just being more civically engaged,
not necessarily more visible or loud about it, but just civically engaged. That's great. I'm interested in like, what are you like when you go to a city council meeting on data centers, or you go to a rally or a protest about gun violence or something that's happening? Like, just what are you hearing from other people about the city itself?
I think that the city's just in an interesting state. Like I consider Nap and just Indiana in general to be such a microcosm of like America and its whole. Like I consider those two to be parallel in the way that Trump operates, in the way that Braun operates, in the way that we sit as a blue dot, and I can compare us to other blue dots that sit within this United States of America. And when I look at Nap and I listen to the conversations that are happening, you hear people that it feels very like disenfranchised. You're hearing people that are very adamant about the things that they want change about, and you're hearing voices fall to the void.
Sure.
And when you see that in real time and hear it in real time, like, and I'm saying this because the two spaces that you just mentioned were, as in the gun violence, the thing that we were talking about were school shooters and how we need reform on the guns and getting rid of assault rifles. And that was a space that was primarily young adults, 18s, down to about 15, 16, that pulled up to the State House to say something. And being amongst them, I got to see the youthful energy that a lot of times political advocacy misses, wherein it's like, all right, we want change and we need to know what we need to do to make it happen because we're here.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we're like, they're not there. They were there.
Yeah.
And then being on the flip side of that, I get to see that with the elderly when you talk about the Martindale Brightwood situation, because that is a older neighborhood. Like you see a lot of elderly in that neighborhood. So we're talking about dependence. We're talking about adult to dependent ratio. Yeah. And when we talk about what people need, the dependents are begging for change. And we're seeing the city fall short in a lot of those ways. Yeah. And so it's like the music tends to be a very essential catalyst to, I feel like, a very limiting degree. Sure. But it does something. And I feel like understanding that it has value is really important. So when I hear people talk about these things and I hear their gripes and I hear their concerns, it just makes me want to work harder to get out there.
I feel like everybody has a responsibility to certain degrees of being civically engaged, at the very least being informed, which I think is a version of civic engagement. Yeah. Like, what do you feel like your responsibility is when it comes to being a part of these conversations, just everything that's happening in the city? Like,
I feel like a lot of times I'm like a liaison. Like, like coming up from where I come up from, we don't believe in it. We believe it's all a stage, in politics and all of those things that go beyond us, that it has no effect on us or we can't do anything about it. And that's a very discouraging feeling. And a lot of times it's by design. So it's like, how do we counter that? And we need somebody in between these spaces to sort of serve as a translator of sorts. Sure. And I do feel like a lot of times I try my best to translate these things the best way that I can. And I mean, it's oftentimes can be difficult because you don't want to try to proselytize anybody. You don't want to try to convince anybody, but you just want to lay out the facts and make it so that they understand that change is feasible. Yeah. And a lot of times we don't think that. And so in this discouraged way of thinking, it's like, all right, my best asset for me is my voice. And a lot of times I spend majority of my time as an artist working with words, language, narrative. Totally. And those are the things that run the world in terms of how we conduct ourselves with others, in terms of how we perceive media, in terms of how people can or cannot read. Yeah. So it's like being in the position that I'm in, I see myself being in a space of servitude where it's like, all right, how can I learn and continue to be a student so much so that when the questions are asked, I can give out an actual substantial answer. Yeah. Because I live on a very a very strict principle of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And so when whenever I'm going through a phase, whenever I'm going through something that needs an answer, I have to put it through that wheelhouse of, is it serving these purposes? Is it serving these principles? And a lot of times I do that through the music. I do that through conversation. I do that through just being a part. And again, trying to be of servitude through whatever capacity makes the most sense for everyone involved.
Totally. No, I love that. And I feel the weight of it. Even just in this conversation sitting across from you right here, where nobody else is listening currently except for the people that might be tuning in later. It feels. I'm going to see Spider-Man tonight, so this may be why I'm thinking this, but I can feel the responsibility in your voice.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important because a lot of people don't have the time or haven't had the opportunity even to find that.
Yeah.
And it just makes me really excited, I guess, and I'm proud, I think, to know people that have had that chance.
Yeah. No, it's a privilege.
To do that.
It's a privilege.
Totally.
Because
Totally.
I talk to people a lot about that. It's like, it's a privilege to be able to have the time to do the stuff that I do.
100%.
So, and then to also understand, I found my purpose rather early.
Sure.
Because of the circumstances that I grew up in. So I understood early on, or that I had a strong inclination early on to be of service. And purpose, purpose itself is a selfish pursuit. You have to have like this moment with yourself to build on towards, all right, how do I even be of service? And so, like, I underwent all of the workings of that, the machinations of the emotions in the wheelhouse of feeling up, down, left, right. I went through all of that to be able to say, all right, I'm very much secure in my position of being like, this is it. That I want to be of service. I don't want to be the one. I want to be one of the ones that helps move this thing forward.
Damn. I love that. And I appreciate you calling it out as privilege because you're 100% right. Yeah. I talk about like doing this as a privilege, but just the act of storytelling in general, I feel like is a privilege because it takes a lot for anybody to share anything about themselves. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of us take that for granted.
Yeah, so most of us don't have the language. And, and I think this was to Ta-Nehisi Coates who said, the limits of our language define the limits of our world. So it's like, when you don't have the language, your world is very small, very simple.
Sure.
All we know is our block half the time. So you put that in perspective and you see it again, like it's a privilege, like you said.
Yeah, you said it. What are you reading right now?
Ooh, I just finished Robert Dallek. He wrote like, I would consider this to be a biography.
Okay.
On JFK. 700 pages. My longest book I've ever read.
Okay.
I loved every bit of it.
Nice.
But it's funny because it stems from a conversation about me and my homeboys being like, who's our favorite president? And because we're skeptical of all presidents.
As you should be.
But we did really like the rhetoric and a lot of the attempts that JFK had made to get positive legislation through, progressive legislation through. Even though he had his shortfalls.
Sure.
We were like, out of all of the presidents, we really do like him. Because we felt like Barack was like too much respectability politics for us.
Sure.
But we do like JFK. So I was like, man, why do we like JFK as black people? Why do we cling on to him? And so it got me delving into this book. And I mean, I'm wowed. And I just finished that book.
Yeah.
But now I'm like in the middle of Paul Rusesabagina's autobiography about the Hotel Rwanda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's really good too.
Yeah, that's heavy. Probably a little bit heavier even than learning about JFK in 700 pages.
And I'm halfway through this book, but yes,
yeah,
it's incredible.
What do you learn about yourself through like scoping out the life of and times of John F. Kennedy Jr.?
Leadership, right?
Okay.
I think the leadership role as a president, I think we give people a lot of flack. And Mamdani is a good example of this right now, where you can have every great intention and you will still be criticized heavily because the steps that you're taking and the mission that you're on is vast and ever expanding. So you're going to be under the lens of a very critical scope that you can't do much about. Yeah. And I think that with JFK in particular, what he wanted to do and wanted to get done, he understood that it was going to take time. But he was also someone who was more interested in foreign policy than he was in domestic stuff.
Okay.
And we talking about early 60s. He needed to be involved in domestic situations.
Yeah.
Civil rights was a main issue. He didn't get into that until about his fourth year. So it's like, I understand the weight of him having such a good intention, but it wasn't as wide expanded as it should have been or could have been. And again, like, he's a human being, so like his shortfalls were like women.
Sure.
He was very much a womanizer, but the things that he could have been doing during that time, I think, pose as something interesting to me, because I see it in myself as an artist. It's like I have an obligation, and when I'm playing the game, am I taking time away from something else that I could be working on? And then at the same time, how do I balance this work and personal life situation? So I just seen that parallel in leadership for him, because he had a lot of great rhetoric and he had a lot of great things that he got done while in office in such a short span.
Yeah.
And I think the way that we romanticize him as Americans comes from a lot of us believing that, as you know, when we lose a parent, it's much more like you lost the past. And with him in particular, it's like losing the future of what could be.
Sure.
And so
cut short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I see that parallel with myself in terms of leadership, how you're going to be challenged and ultimately critiqued when you decide to take on such a big role as being like, no, I'm a man of the people. Well, then if you're going to be a man of the people, you're going to have to be subservient to all of the people's requests and being willing to understand and not necessarily follow through on everything, but try your best.
I feel like political leadership, especially, or elected office in any capacity, like that extra magnification that you experience would be a lot. And like Mom Donnie is definitely going through it right now, because I know, like, on two different sides, I can't remember what like committee he just set up, but there's like complaints from the Jewish community about there not being any Jewish folks on that. And then I just saw something else about like, something about not an underfunded like disability situation.
Yeah.
And I think like what I love about what he has been able to do and what his team has been able to do, and I think what like we as people who watch or constituents of New York who voted for him have been able to do, is hold accountability and him be able to accept said accountability.
He's really good at it.
And like you said, be able to provide a substantiated answer to why something may or may not have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we, unfortunately, in Indianapolis and Indiana in general, and maybe most of the country, have not had a leader like that who's been willing to be magnified in such an intense way and still create tangible, substantial change for the betterment of the people that he's governing.
And I think a beautiful thing that what you're saying is, and I'm hearing this now, is like the things that they're poking holes in, or not even poking holes in, because I do think that there are things that he has to cover. Like there's going to be spaces that feel like they're not being franchised.
Well, you said it's ever expanding.
It's ever expanding. And because you take on that role as a people person. And so I think that it's honestly rather beautiful to see that people have that much faith in him to make the change.
Yeah. Well, when people care, the people who care the most are the people who are going to have like an actual critique.
It's love.
Exactly. It's coming from a place of love.
Exactly.
It's because we want to see better.
Yeah.
And because we love the place that we live, we love the people that we live with. And at the end of the day, like if you can't think or speak critically on the environment around you, the community that you find yourself in, when something is maybe falls through the crack, or we're just unaware that is a problem that's existing, like then we're not really making progress in the direction that we want to go.
Right. Yeah. And I think he just does an incredible job of just being human at all times.
Totally.
Like he's one of the rare sites, and I mean, you're doing this at quite possibly the most enormous level in terms of the United States. When it comes to mayors, you're the mayor of the greatest city on earth.
Yeah.
so it's like, man, to be able to hold that and then to be representing all he represents. I mean, dude's middle name is Kwame, man. He's an outlier, man.
For sure. Hey, it's like it's right place, right time, like for some stuff.
Yeah.
But that's also the thing. Like it's timing. And I actually feel like we had a conversation about this, but maybe not. But like I read something once that said like all things that happen in life have like 10% of luck. But everything else, like you need a little bit of luck for things to happen. I think that's the timing portion of it. But like he didn't end up here by accident.
Right.
You know, like he's put in.
It's the old
work.
proverb. It's pray, but still tie your camel. You still got to. You still got to make it there.
Yeah.
You still got to do all the work to get there.
Yeah.
But like the luck is gonna come if it comes.
Yeah.
And I think I just enjoy the fact that it could be a ripple effect.
100%.
And I love that.
Well, and I think and we might not even see how far the ripples lead. You know, we might not even be here. I mean you're a lot younger than me, so
we kind of seeing the ripples. Not like when you think about with how they beefing inside the inter-party beef.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
that's the worst of the ripple, but
yeah. What do you think about that?
it's disgusting, man. It's so silly because I think that they're just exposing just how far right they actually are.
Right.
The established Democrats.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, well, if you're against all that he's doing, then what were you pushing for in the first place?
Exactly. Well, and it's just like it's the dismissal. It's like it's the very clear dismissal of the people who
Bingo.
elected him in the first place.
Bingo.
And yeah. So
But no, this very disgusting.
Yeah.
You see like the Fetterman stuff?
oh my God.
He might flip parties any day now.
Bro, he is. I can't even think of the guy. Manchin, whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, from Virginia or West Virginia. Like he's of that cloth. And
Yeah.
it's just like I actually had a friend who worked for Fetterman's campaign.
Wow.
And she's just like, I don't know what happened to like.
Oh man.
And I feel like there are signs, but it's just like, you know, I appreciate people who could be a part of something and see success, you know, in terms of an election, and then still be able to be like, oh, no, I got to back away now because of, like, everything that's happening.
Because the DNC's, like, vetting has been, like, under a lot of scrutiny lately with the whole Graham Plattner thing.
Oh, my God. Hey.
Good Lord.
And that's the thing. Like, it's one thing to have, like, yeah, I don't know. I
You know,
feel like
it's real ugly.
it's
man.
just like, it is very disheartening, but I feel like watching what's happening, not just with Zoran anymore, but like with the people who like Lander and Daria Lisa, like who have been able to see success, and we're starting to see that ripple, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe we are going to see it in my lifetime. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We're seeing a ripple. Yeah, no, for sure.
It's happening. Are you going to run for office?
Never.
You got to be the
Never.
liaison.
I'm like Wild Style.
Okay. Hey, we need more Wild
I want to be
Styles.
like Wild Style when I grow up.
I mean, that's a good person to have as a role model.
Yeah, no,
mentor.
that's what I got.
Aspire
But no,
to.
I couldn't. I don't think I could, man. I do think about, like, we talk about street cred being like parallel with like political currency.
Sure.
So it's like I'm a rapper. Like when I get out there, they're not gonna take me serious. But so like I feel like I'd have to stop hip hop.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And that's not on the
'Cause I
card.
do
That's
wanna
not on the
respect
table
it.
right now, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I do. I respect it. I respect due process. I respect checks and balances. I respect that. So I want to, if I go in there, I'm going to be 100% locked in.
Totally.
And if I was rapping, I would not win anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that there's power to utilizing your voice in the way that you have when the right people come along
Bingo.
to support.
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, hopefully in 2027, we have that situation going on for us.
Or I'll just help whoever wants to win the right way. Let's go Hundley.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a hard pivot. I think I've done this with you before. Just hard pivoted from this topic that we're talking about because the person that I'm about to talk about and have you talk about, I think in his own way has been doing a lot of this, like, not only introspective work but like turning his lens now, but also his mind to the struggles of community and what we can do better, trying to shine a journalistic light on just the different things that he cares about, which I really appreciate, and I've loved to watch him grow. But as you well are aware, we have a recurring segment on the show called Give Them Their Flowers, where we ask our guests to shout out a person or persons they feel like deserve their flowers right now. And you are welcome to shout out whoever you want. But I was wondering if you could give our homie Dier his flowers.
Okay. I love Dier.
I love Dier too. And I feel like he's been doing a lot of really cool things recently that I've been seeing.
Today he has a cool thing.
He's doing a cool thing today?
Oh my God. Did you
What's
not
he
know
do-
about the cool thing?
Oh yeah, okay. He sent me a message about it, and I'm not gonna be able to be there, unfortunately.
Okay,
Wait,
cool.
am I gonna be able? I don't know.
It's tonight.
I forgot that
It's
he
like
had a cool
7
thing.
or something.
Okay, I might actually try and pull up on that.
But okay, yeah, no, I love Dier. Dier's a great person. Dier has opened up my mind about what it means to be directly in tune with the things around you. Because when I first met Dier, when I first heard Dier's voice, I was like, man, this dude's voice is incredible. On a record, it's insane. It's like, it's infectious. It's very much right in your face. You can't get away from it. And then I was like, bro, I want to add him to Slim Baby Family. I got to get this guy.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would pull up on him at his shows. He was ducking and dodging me. And then, I was like, bro, you got to join SBF. He was like, nah, bro, I'm good. I was like, no, but you got to. So, like, I'm pulling up to his shows and stuff, and I ended up getting his support. He supported my music as well. And he would pull up to my shows, and we'd have, like, very basic conversations. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate the love, da-da-da. But as I've gotten to know him as a person, as I got to know him as a family man, as I got to know him as a son, of his mother, not me.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But he's such a great person to be around because he just cares about everything. His sensibility is so high. His apathy for people is insane. Like the way that he's always asked me every time I get off stage how I'm feeling. He asked me how I'm feeling. How you doing, boss? He's very much when I'm about to announce something or do something. Are you excited? He's always on me about it, and I think that it just like I can't really put it into words, man. He's one of the only people I've ever met that's like that. He's very much in my corner. At first, I was like, dude, this dude is too nice.
Sure.
And then it was like, no, like he just is humanity in its purest form. Like the dude, his heart is just full of so much love and good intent, and so it's like when it's questioned or when it's threatened, you feel like you have to be up in arms for him.
Sure.
That's the type of character he has, and I love him for that.
He's great. He really is.
Great
meeting
guy.
you with like checking in, like he's always checking in,
and he's a phenomenal rapper.
And then he does that on the side. Like he's a great human being, and then he also just happens to be an incredible artist.
And like you said, journalism and all. Yeah, the dude's amazing.
Yeah, and he's like picking up the camera now, and I'm just like, bro, leave some for the rest of us.
He's a monster.
His talent is out of this world.
Yeah, he's a monster in the best way.
Yeah. That brings us to as we start to wind down here.
Yeah.
Gonna double back on Dreams twice, but you talked about bad weather for FanFest.
Yeah.
When this comes out, FanFest will have just happened.
Yes.
Team Draco has taken home the kickball trophy.
So you say.
We're holding it up high.
I can't wait for this.
Me and Oreo already been talking about it. I'm wondering, like, what's the goal for you specifically, and then I guess as SBF as a collective, like, when you're putting these types of events together.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that because, like I said, a lot of the work that I do is narrative based.
Sure.
So one thing that I see in the community space, quote unquote community, is people using community as a buzzword. So like they'll use it and say we need to build community, but it's more paternalistic than that. It's more, I want to build up this thing to get me money. We're looking to build this genuine community. We're looking to make it a space where your wallet isn't even a thought. We want to build it so it's that you come in, you get what you need, what you want.
Yep.
And you can leave whenever you want. We ain't gonna keep you here, but just understand that it's here for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're trying to cultivate and build. And we're doing that on various levels where it's integrated through people who don't do anything creatively or have like a regular 9-to-5 and they don't really aspire to do anything much more than that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, and it's also tailored for the upper echelons who want to come in. Like, we're fine with politicians and all that pulling up. We show love to those guys. We're trying to bridge a gap of cultural misunderstanding that has been happening for a long time in this city, where the people feel disserved and the politicians feel like they know best.
Sure.
Without any real modicum of understanding.
Yeah.
So it's like about bridging all of these gaps and at the same time just being in a place of servitude while also having fun.
Yeah.
Because, like, the kickball game is going to be fun. Like, we had a kickball last year and we had basketball.
Yeah, we had basketball last year. Yeah. I gotta talk to you something about off air about that.
Yeah.
For the
But you hit a bank corner three.
First
shot, I will never forget it, bro.
That was amazing. That was one of the
that's
greatest
the first
moments
thing
of
I've
my
ever
life.
seen.
off like the very top of the backboard. Had no idea how I made that.
Yeah, but no, I think that it's serving the purpose of just being community based oriented.
Totally.
In its essence and by definition.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you bringing that up because I feel like, especially in the last 2 weeks, I have been talking a lot about this discourse around the overuse of the word community when it comes to events.
Yeah.
And like you said, like a lot of people are creating community events, but to only enrich themselves.
Right.
And I think when people don't show up at those things because for whatever reason, they then turn around and blame the community for not supporting them and not supporting themselves.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, even myself as an event organizer have had to take like a hard look at like, what am I doing to ensure that an event that I have that costs $15 to come to is serving and servicing community.
Right.
Because I do like to lead with like, this is meant to be not just a connection between myself and the guest, but for all the people in attendance to be able to connect with each other. And so just thinking about trying to put those things together, it's been an interesting practice of self-accountability.
Right.
And I really feel like, even last year, when I went last year, like it did feel like this isn't community for the sake of saying the word. This is community to bridge said gaps that might exist in our community.
We're also trying to operate and build and construct in spaces that haven't been built upon. Like I think of myself all the time in this space of, has it already been done, or is it already being done? And if it is, how can I help that person if I see the vision? And so I'm always comparing in that sense of like, am I getting in anybody's way? Like,
ooh, okay.
I'm always trying to consider that, because I do think it's a social contract that you sign when you say community.
Sure.
When you say, I want to do this thing, that means, all right, you're putting yourself on the back burner.
Yeah.
But at the same time, being incredibly critical of yourself, because that's what the job demands.
Sure.
So it's walking this thin line and then being able to produce at a high rate.
Yeah.
Because as you continue to go, you got to leverage it. But like you said, when it comes to community and making a space, I think more than anything this time around, we've been super focused on the love ethic and how many times we've been in spaces and we've seen people only connect with people that they already connected with. So it's like, all right, when you come in here, you see a stranger, I want you to welcome that stranger. I need you to welcome that stranger. So a lot of the back and forth that we have with people, with players, with volunteers, is when you see a stranger, welcome that stranger. Make them feel like they belong here. Yeah. And it's about making sure that love ethic is universally sound in everything that we do, so that it becomes natural.
That love ethic. I like that. I'm going to have to start using that. Well, and I think that's like that part, especially of like when somebody who you don't know comes to your event, how are you engaging with that person? And how are you providing an opportunity for that person to engage with other people that they might not know? Yeah. And I feel like you said, it's a thin line, but I think it's something that I don't know that I've often seen modeled at events that I go to. And now I'm like trying to figure out, how do I, and I hate the word icebreaker, but how do I find natural icebreakers for folks, or even I guess manufactured ones?
Because your events are more like, I feel like detailed in that sense, where it's like, because you're in a space where it's like, and I'm thinking of when you do your podcast. Okay, so like if you have your space and everybody's sitting there, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to think about connecting in that time, because it's like people came in with a goal of maybe listening. Sure. And so it's like, all right, you want me to talk? Yeah. So I don't, and I'm not saying that you don't know how to do what you're doing. You're doing great, but I appreciate that. But I'm thinking about it parallel to what we got going on, because it's like I think maybe it's easier for me, because it's like,
because there's multiple activities, it's like, a lot of different things.
It's just like you got like more room. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
I guess for the show, there's like finite amounts of time to do something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's like, I think yours requires more discipline, maybe. If that makes sense.
It does. No, I think it does, and I think that's something I've really been like. So the example I've been using is in June after the show. I felt like I spent a lot of time helping reset the space, clean up, and like doing my duty as an organizer in that sense. But I felt like afterwards that I did a really bad job of connecting with anybody else that was there. Wow. And I felt like, and I've told this to multiple people who are like telling me that is not the case at all, but like I can't help but feel like I did not do my duty as
an organizer, as a host, as a community event person, to make sure that I was like at least making the attempt to connect with folks, especially that I don't know. Because people are spending even $15 and spending even more than that, their time and energy to come be at this thing.
Yeah.
I do feel like I have a responsibility to at least find ways to engage with those folks.
Superman can only be in one place at once, man.
Okay, now you're joining the list of people. I know,
saying.
but I mean, I think that's like, I just think that is like something that I would love to see from other people that host events.
Yeah.
It's just this like, and not saying that they have to do like what I'm doing, but just like in general, being a little bit more like Dier in the sense of like my empathy reaches a little bit more widely, and I want to do this because I want to do it,
Right.
and not because it's a transactional situation.
Makes sense. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. Are there any other like planned events or activities that kind of stem from FamFest that you have? In the works?
Since Saturday's canceled, that really kind of jacks up what we were trying to do. But Saturday we were supposed to do our community pickup,
Yep.
which is just being postponed. We'll still end up doing that.
Okay.
We'll be at the Martindale Brightwood area to make sure that they're still spick and span, beautified. But we want to build upon this weekend thing and make it a 3-day thing.
Ooh, okay.
Where there's a live show attached to it to end the weekend.
Okay.
That's something that we've been talking about and thinking about and trying to structure together and seeing how it makes sense, because we also want our own venue. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff we're trying to build for
own venue.
But no, we're trying to have a lot of fun with it and build something that, because we want to make sure that people actually are coming to the city. We want to make sure that artists that y'all want to hear actually come to the city. So we're going to try to build that scene and build like a connecting bridge between us and like the other states that are having a lot of success and have a lot of hip hop infrastructure and all that. So
Interesting. Anybody in particular that you're looking at as like models, or maybe as that
like
you want to
as a state, or
yeah, but maybe not models necessarily, but that you want to like bridge with?
like I love Louisville. And I
Okay.
I'm very fond of Louisville, and I think that there's an amazing underground scene that doesn't get enough love. Louisville, Minnesota is another one of those. Minneapolis, to be specific. I think what we have with Chicago is present, but I think that it has potential to be something more.
Okay.
In terms of like building up each other, because Chicago has its own infrastructure because it sits very distinctly
Totally.
as being like the New York of the Midwest. So it's a lot to tap into, but I'm interested in how we can build it.
I'm interested to see those bridges grow.
Me too.
Or be built, I should say. What are you excited about for the rest of the year? What's 2026 got in store for you that you're hype on?
Man, so the rest of the year, man, we got some things that I gotta keep discreet, but a lot of fun stuff, man. Like, you can expect more music, I can say that much. You can expect more content, of course. I want to consider these to be called like coalitions of sorts.
Okay.
Like me and my camp, we talk a lot about integration. We talk about what does it look like to build something vertically, horizontally, and most importantly, to build something as a conglomerate. So when you talk about conglomerate integration, we're talking about things that are outside of music necessarily, but they complement the music.
Totally.
And so like as of right now, we're in that conglomerate stage where it's like we're building partnerships and relationships to things bigger than the music that still serve the music's purpose. So
That's really interesting, especially thinking about the word conglomerate is like generally carries like a negative connotation unless you're a billionaire. So like, what is it about that intrigues you in terms of building?
I think it's necessarily about diversifying the portfolio and cross-branding, because again, a lot of what I do stems from me being anti-conformity.
Right.
So I have to look at history and what it has shown us about hip-hop artists from my city, and when they reach a certain level, how they tend to plateau, and how do we negate that? How do we combat these things? So I look at it like, all right, well, I know one thing that they didn't do was go talk to Murdoch. Or build with Wild Style to this certain degree or certain extent. So it's like about trying to capitalize on those things.
Totally.
And also just make sure that I'm being of servitude in the right spaces. Like, again, I think music is incredibly limiting.
Yeah.
Like, with what you can do, you can spark some change. But I think what we need to be focused on is how do we maintain substantial change
Yeah.
in today's time.
That's the thing. A change can occur. I mean, Obama built his whole campaign on change and hope, but it can be very fleeting if we don't create sustainable infrastructure.
Exactly. We need the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Infrastructure is the key word.
And I got to say this, like, because you just said it, but like, I feel like for the last 3 or so years in multiple spaces, not just Indy, but like I've been talking about, so many people like to build horizontally. They like to build the floor. We like to start something new. The momentum is great. Like, it's awesome. It's exciting. But few people, and even fewer people still, who talk about building vertically. And I feel like if we could just, it sounds like you got some floor to build, but it sounds like you're interested in building the walls of the house and putting doors on there, putting windows on, getting a roof whenever you get to however high you want to scale vertically. I feel like that's such an important like mindset for people to have, and I feel like people just don't, because when we think about what's missing, we don't think about what's come before that has maybe created the gap or was filling the gap at one point and wasn't sustainable for whatever reason. We don't build.
We have to have a constructive mindset.
Exactly.
And I think when we talk about construction, we don't talk about the deconstruction part. We oftentimes we do one or the other. We talk about the deconstruction part and then don't talk about the construction part.
Yep.
So it's like, in order for any of this to work, we have to respect the process. And so that means start from the beginning of imagining.
Yeah.
We have to imagine what is possible, and then we have to figure out, if it is possible, what can we do and what can we not do? What are we willing to try and what are we willing not to try? And then having those conversations with like-minded individuals, having wise counsel, understanding you're not going to do it by yourself. And again, just taking that risk, man.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're doing. It's just taking the risk every time. And we'll go with how the cards laid because we went by our duties and our obligations.
I love it. And that's a beautiful segue into this final question. I'm going to tie it all the way back to the dream machine. I'm thinking about dreaming. What are your hopes? What are your dreams? What are you imagining for the city going forward?
I'm imagining just a better understanding of one another. Like, again, like I come from a very specific space of NAP, being from 42nd and Post, but I also come from a very specific era. I come from the tail end of an era that is considered to be pretty vulnerable and yet volatile. It's like we're very distinct in the way that we approach one another, the way that we see one another, and the way that we have relationships with the world. So just better building the understanding of one another and building a better relationship with the world around us, because NAP is such a beautiful space. NAP is such an interesting combination of things, and where we see it falling short, whether it's politically, environmentally, it's like it's on our shoulders. The ball is in our court at this moment. Like you said, like we talked about the Mamdani thing. We're seeing that it's possible.
Yeah.
There's no reason to even question the possibility of it.
That's what I'm saying.
So now we just need to figure out what we need to do to get there. And that requires us all to be deeply invested and all for us to have faith in one another to make it happen.
I love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Won't say it better myself. Appreciate you coming on the show, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me.